There was a thing in the woods. But once a year, it left the woods to feast on us. Then one year, out of the woods came nothing. Another year passed, and another. Over time, we forgot our fear. And turned our backs on the dark. Slivers of the mad moon hang forgotten in our sky, slowly aligning. It is time again. The tide rises and brings with it something dire.
Don't let this party scene fool you. This world is a dangerous place. When you get to be my age, you'll see friends come and go. It's important to take care of the ones still kicking. In the heat of battle, you'd be surprised how far a little kindness might go. Not everyone deserves kindness.
Hello, Auntie.
This all you brought?
Yes.
Oh. I didn't offer to share.
There was a thing in the woods. But once a year, it left the woods to feast on us. Then one year, out of the woods came nothing. Another year passed, and another. Over time, we forgot our fear. And turned our backs on the dark. Slivers of the mad moon hang forgotten in our sky, slowly aligning. It is time again. The tide rises and brings with it something dire.
Don't let this party scene fool you. This world is a dangerous place. When you get to be my age, you'll see friends come and go. It's important to take care of the ones still kicking. In the heat of battle, you'd be surprised how far a little kindness might go. But not everyone deserves kindness.
Hello, Auntie.
This all you brought?
Yes.
Oh. Attaboy! I didn't offer to share.
There was a thing in the woods. But once a year, it left the woods to feast on us. year, out of the woods came nothing. Another year passed, and another. Over time, we forgot our fear. And turned our backs on the dark. Slivers of the mad moon hang forgotten in our sky, slowly aligning. It is time again. The tide rises and brings with it something dire.
Hello and welcome back here. A new face, but Harry Freak, as always, beautiful to cast with you. You already had 2 series going on, and now we have a 3rd here. Are you excited?
I had only 2 series so far. That is what's going on, and yeah, I am excited. I came here to cast a lot of Dota. When the DPC starts, usually there's not back-to-back games constantly, and I've kind of gotten, I'd say, spoiled. About casting Dota. You know, you cast for like 2 hours and then you just rest. And this is really fun. This is pretty much reminding me of how I started, and I'm really happy about it.
Yes, let's take a quick look here. We already had these 2 series here. LBZS 2-1 against Yangon Galacticos. Rem's Isekai Adventure very much, especially that second game, looked pretty stompy there, but Team M11 looked really good. And now the last series of the day, Black Piggy versus Team Tsunami here, coming up shortly. And I'm very excited to see here what we're gonna see from these 2 teams here. As we see here, Black Piggy with their roster here. Unfortunately, I do not speak Chinese, so I will not be able to know the names of the Chinese letters. However, now here coming for the Team Tsunami, an all Thailand lineup. This is also, I was at first I was a little bit confused when I saw the name here from one player, Prakash. That is not the Prakash from South America, of course. That is a different player, but same name. Although I think that most likely it will mean something different in their language than it does in South America. Always interesting to see there.
Regarding Black Piggy, I thought I saw Yang there. Yang is a very well-known Chinese player, you know. He's a TI player, basically. You know, he played for Elephant last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So, you know, Chinese players, they do tend to make these teams. I think I saw a familiar face there as well, but as you mentioned, I do not speak Chinese, but just the face. It was someone I know, but if I do remember who it is. So I think with the knowledge I have now, I think Black Piggy are coming in as the favorites. They're Black Piggy. It's basically a bristleback logo, just he's dyed black. So to be honest, them picking the bristleback, it doesn't scream confidence for Team Tsunami, if you ask me.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no Tsunami hero yet in the pool. I feel like Naga Siren would be the closest to it. But I'm a little bit surprised to see the Bristleback first pick when the Viper is still in the pool. How do you feel about that? Like, first picking Bristleback screams of confidence, especially if there are still these break heroes left.
Viper is one of those heroes that when picked in the first phase, even though teams tend to do it, can be punished. If you know how to deal with the Viper, you shouldn't be afraid of it because the hero is immobile. Later on in the game, yes, it can be an issue, but Bristleback is one of the faster heroes. I like the Bristleback Warlock combo though. Usually when I see a Warlock, people tend to go for defensive heroes, but having a hero that is in your face and you can constantly heal him up, I really like it. I'm kind of hoping that Slark's Ursas make a bit of a comeback. More so, Slark's Ursas have been played from time to time with the Warlock being in the meta, because those heroes, they can be very aggressive, but they need the heal behind them. Bristleback, obviously, the obvious choice now, considering how powerful he is currently in the meta.
And it also, just like you mentioned that you really like this opener. Also, like, if that is most likely going to be the lane position one, Bristleback with a Warlock, that seems like a pretty strong lane. Like, the Bristleback is going to be constantly at full HP. He's going to put out the damage with his quill sprays, and I'm gonna be looking forward to how Team Tsunami is going to respond on their end to this draft that Black Piggy is coming up with here. They currently have the Zeus and the Tiny Hero. Zeus has come back the past, I would say, like 4 or 5 weeks now, more and more as a support once again. And this Tiny Hero, I feel like Tiny always like comes in and out as a support, as a core. What would you like to see it here in this draft with it?
10 seconds
I'm actually okay with it being a support, considering that you have a Zeus. I'd rather see the Zeus in the mid lane, because the Zeus with the shard just rips apart the Bristleback. It is very hard to fight if you don't have a BKB with it, so I'd rather see a Tiny as a support. Plus, he's one of those heroes that can disposition the enemies against the Warlock lane. That is very important, because usually how this lane goes is Warlock is healing the Bristleback is running to you. But if he's running to you and you can toss him to the tower, or better yet, pull the Warlock to the side and then toss him somewhere out of position to kill him, that does make your life slightly easier. So because of those reasons, I think the position for Tiny does work quite well here. Plus, he's one of the best heroes to stop the chasing type of heroes, and Bristleback is pretty much up there in the chasing hero department.
For sure, it's now the next pick here for Team Tsunami. The Winter Wyvern coming out. So another hero that I feel like you just now mentioned, like the chasing potential that a Bristleback has. Winter Wyvern can simply stop you with that Winter's Curse. Are there any other specific reasons you think they went for a Winter Wyvern here?
At your service.
But today we saw a core Winter Wyvern. A core Winter Wyvern burns through the fat heroes, so the Bristleback really doesn't like playing against him. But other than that, Winter Wyvern as a support has been picked up more and more just as the Warlock, no more salves, so you want to have some kind of a sustain in the lane, and Winter Wyvern fills that role quite nicely. So I think as a core, as a support, it doesn't matter. This hero is going to be looking pretty solid.
Sure, as this draft is moving on its way very, very quickly here, and the Wind Ranger Earth Spirit for Black Piggy on the Radiant side, and then Team Tsunami, we're gonna have the Timber. So that's gonna be the off-lane Timber, so I would assume with the Tiny. Going up against the Bristleback, I feel like that can go very snowbally in either on either side.
To be honest, the Timber can struggle in this lane, but when you have a Tiny that can pull the wave to the side, just kind of do some shenanigans there, I think you're gonna be okay. If you do well, don't lose a lot of HP until you're level 3. Once the level 3 kicks in, you are safe, pretty much like any Timbersaw lane. Just that the Bristleback does so much damage level 1 and 2, he can even pick the Nasal Goo and just completely destroy you, that later on he could be a problem for you. I've seen Bristlebacks even dive like a level 5 Timbersaw on their tower just because the Timber didn't have a good start. Though I think with the Tiny he should be okay. If it's a Zeus position 4, then I would be a bit afraid for the Timber for sure.
Dire team back.
Yeah, I like, the more we talk about it, the more I feel like this Zeus, you really want to put him into the mid lane, as you mentioned, like a great damage against the Bristleback. Now he is most likely going to go up against the mid Wind Range, I would assume. And I feel like with that, both heroes are just gonna get there for mid lane. I feel like mid lane, like all matchups have now just become of like, oh wow, we're trading farm because of water runes. Everybody has enough regen.
Yeah, very rarely people are confident enough to pick counters in the lane that could bully someone out, just because of the reason that you mentioned. If you don't manage to do it, they heal themselves up with the water runes. Your reason for picking that hero for the laning phase is pretty much gone. So everyone is going just with comfort picks in the mid lane, something that they think is going to be making space in the early mid game. The Wind Ranger doesn't really scream like that kind of a hero to me. I'm not the biggest fan of the hero overall, especially you having the Warlock. I would have wanted something with a bit more AoE, like the Earth Spirit, but he's not the mid laner.
I mean, maybe sometimes, you know, sometimes Gunnar plays the mid-Earth Spirit from time to time. I'm always a big fan of seeing a mid-Earth Spirit. I mean, it's pretty much just like a position 4 Earth Spirit, but with more money, and he's even more in your face.
10 seconds
He
remaining.
can't die, and he deals massive amounts of damage. Plus, he gets his rolling boulder maxed out very early on. You know, you're level 9 at like 10, 12 minutes into the game, let's say, and it just becomes impossible to play for the supports. You're kind of hoping that he uses three stones to get to you and then to your other support so that he cannot fight for another minute or two, because you surviving is I mean, it's rough. It's probably not gonna happen.
So, and you mentioned that also at the Warlock pick. Warlock really likes having those heroes that can act as a frontline, that can act by going in. And Earth Spirit, very similar vein, is now here to round out their draft. It is going to be a Razor.
I think this gives you flexibility in where you put the Bristol, where you put the Razor. Though, for me, right now, you just get... Actually, heroes that deal well with the Razor don't really like dealing with the Bristleback. I feel like the Morphling could be a decent one. But, you know what? The Seeker is really good here. The Bloodseeker is really good. He might struggle level 1 and 2, but he's an amazing hero overall. I think Team Tsunami are crazy if they don't pick it up. It counters every single hero on the side of Black Piggy, and they go for the Morph in the end.
I mean, I was speaking earlier about the Team Tsunami. I mean, it does fit kind of with their name as well. So we're gonna have Black Piggy with the Bristleback and Team Tsunami with the Morphling there. Overall, now that we have the full draft, you really wanted to see the Bloodseeker. How do you feel about this Morphling pick? Does Dire have the chances here to win the game?
I think they do. I'm not the biggest fan of the Wind Ranger pick. That is something that is throwing me off of Black Piggy's draft. I think if I would go just off the draft, then I would actually favor Team Tsunami. Knowing that Yang plays for Black Piggy, I'm thinking that this is a bit of a stronger Chinese team, just trying to play third-party tournaments to get themselves ready for the next DPC tour. But going on the draft, I'm gonna go with my gut. I do like Team Tsunami's draft more. I think they have everything they need in this game. They can stop the advancements of the Razor and of the Bristleback. You have heroes that all want to commit really hard. You have really good disengage. The Morphling outscales the Razor. He deals well with the Wind Ranger, and of course the Bristleback. I mean, you can deal with them. You have the Timbersaw, you have the Zeus. A lot of tools to deal with them overall. So yeah, I'm gonna be leaning Team Tsunami here.
Yes, now I feel like one thing that is very much true for both sides is here, given that they have these offlaners that don't really offer like direct like initiation via a stun, like the Razor or the Bristleback doesn't really, no stuns there. Timbersaw also no stuns. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on both sides on the position 4s, the Earth Spirit and the Tiny, to find that proper initiation, to find the first pickoff into then a team fight in this game. And we'll see who's going to be able to come out at the positive end of that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. The Earth Spirit, I would say, would have the advantage early on, because the Tiny needs to be ready for Earth Spirit rotations early on. But once the Tiny gets the blink, it completely shifts. And also, you know, once there's a level 6 on the Winter Wyvern, the rolls from the Earth Spirit just aren't gonna be that easy to go through with them. But I think you having the Wind Ranger in the mid lane and having a Earth Spirit, this use in the mid lane is gonna have to be very, very careful about what he does.
For sure. Like if this Zeus is uncontested during any team fight, I feel like he just deals by himself 7,000 damage easily. If we're 20-30 minutes into the game, and that hero, he can dump out the deeps very much so.
Yeah, that is true for sure. We can see that Black Piggy, they're trying to make something happen, but not gonna be successful. They did get really good wards off with the early smoke, so there is a good chance that Zeus isn't gonna be getting much. Zeus starting off with the lightning bolt, to me, is screaming that this is a mid lane wyvern, and yeah, that is the case. I'm fine with that. I'm actually fine with that. The only reason I kind of don't like it. Oh, actually, is the Zeus gonna lane with the morph? I'm not sure. I would rather see the tiny lane with the Timbersaw, just because he can leave him. The Zeus needs a lot of levels, so I'd rather him be with the morphling on top lane.
Yes, I would completely agree with that. As now we see here 2-for-2 bounty rune split, nothing too crazy going on there. Although Earth Spirit's still in the vicinity there, and yeah, that's just gonna wait here for the Zeus.
He knows. He used the scan.
Oh, he even high fives them as now the roll is coming in, and WMN, is he going to die here though? One more right click is gonna be enough, and first blood for the Warlock.
Yeah, that means a lot of mana regen, and by a lot of mana regen, I mean a lot of HP regen for the bristleback, just because of the shadow word. That is weird. He knew that they were there, he scanned them, and he taunted them. So this just goes to show you shouldn't be that cocky, not only in Dota but in life, because you know, he does he's probably being laughed at right now by the opposing team.
Most likely also a little bit by his teammates. I feel like when something like that happens, like everybody is just like, yo. So now we're gonna have the Tiny is gonna be in the bottom lane, so it is going to be the Zeus up top. And as you mentioned, I feel like the first few levels are gonna be very crucial for this Timbersaw. Can he get off to a good start? And so far, he's getting his last hits. He's fine. Doing fine.
I actually expected the Tiny to go for a wave steal there, but they actually did block the creeps quite well, so the Timbersaw is still in a good position. But just to give a little bit of free experience to the Timbersaw, get level 2 on the Tiny, but he started off with the tree, so that shows that he wants to get some denies here on the lane. To be honest, if I was playing a position 4, I'd rather let my Timbersaw have a bit more, so having your first and second spell in the first 2 levels is gonna make it easier to do that.
For sure. So meanwhile, so in the mid lane, so we didn't really, like we mentioned it briefly here, it is going to be the Midwinter Wyvern. You said you don't really mind it that much. What do you feel like the Midwinter Wyvern brings over a mid Zeus?
It gives a constant output of damage rather than a burst. Though, you know, the Zeus in the mid lane and they support Zeus and can sometimes do the same thing. You just want the shard on that Zeus. If you get into the close to the enemies, use all of your spells and die, you're still gonna be okay. That is fine. And they probably assessed the situation and understood that Windranger BKB, Razor BKB, and the Earth Spirit rolling on you is gonna be really tough. And a solo kill in the mid lane, that should never happen. Winter Wyvern versus the Windranger, that is so weird.
That is pretty impressive there by Mad Maid. I mean, so far he's having a very, very good time. Now even gets the refill from his Tiny. I mean, he's just loving life right now.
Today, me and Truman casted a game where Winter Wyvern was mid. He had, it was Young PH playing it for Yangon Galacticos. He had an alchemist in the offlane who gave him an axe, and his laning phase also went really well. He did end up losing that game, but overall his early game did go well. Overall, this hero shouldn't be too good in the laning phase, and Windranger shouldn't be losing. But you know, shoulda, woulda, coulda, it really doesn't matter, because this Winter Wyvern is crushing it for now.
Yes. And meanwhile, up top, they're still looking for maybe an angle to go onto this Morphling here. As meanwhile, in the bottom lane here, this Bristleback, He is getting his last hits the same with the Timbersaw. I feel like now that Timbersaw has hit these few crucial levels, that lane becomes much less scary for him as long as he hasn't died to that point. Oh, nice jack.
A beautiful one. I agree with you wholeheartedly. The Timber should be okay in that lane right now. He might even be a bit of a nuisance to the Bristleback himself. You know, you always have the stick charges if you're the Bristle against the Timber, but the other thing is the other way around is true as well. And you have the Warlock to keep you safe. But obviously they would have wanted to pressure the Timbersaw a bit more now. That's not gonna be an easy thing to do.
See here the Bristleback, he is taking a lot of damage from that Whirling Death. With the trees around, it still does a lot there. We have a toss here, another Whirling Death with the Avalanche, and they get the kill. Ooh, just overestimating his survivability there. And now I feel like the kill in the mid lane and these kind of kills, though, that is not something that can happen here for Black Piggy.
Yeah, the bottom lane always you have that outplay potential, but it shouldn't be happening for sure. You know, you're losing two of your big cores early on to pretty snowbally type heroes. You know, an early Witchblade on the Winter Wyvern is gonna kill absolutely anyone on the side of Black Piggy. Without the BKB, you're just gonna be in so much trouble, and I'm not seeing it getting any better here for Black Piggy.
And another kill for Team Tsunami here. Zeus very nicely timed there with the Heavenly Jump to get in front of the Earth Spirit. As this laning stage, maybe like Team Black Piggy got the first blood, but since then it's been all Team Tsunami in terms of the kills. As now, I always feel like with these... oh, there's going to be a rotation into the mid lane. The roll coming through. Do they have enough damage? There's going to be a Winter's Curse, though, from Mad Maid. And it is going to be, in fact, the Earth Spirit who will die first. It's now with the rotation from the Tiny. Oh, no! Sword is going to die as well. Ooh. Ooh.
That is a mechanical misplay coming out from them. Tactically it was good, but getting yourself caught next to the Wind Ranger, that shouldn't happen, because you have your Earth Spirit, you roll in, you kick the Winter Wyvern towards the Wind Ranger, and you get yourself to the side. You are not really doing anything with your right clicks, and the Wind Ranger is just doing massive amounts of damage with the Javelin and the Focus Fire. So you know, firstly it was some bad approaches coming out from them, but now you know, it is a good approach, but you just don't play it correctly, and this is a problem. It's starting to be already, because the laning phase shouldn't have gone this bad for you.
So you mentioned like you like the tactical play there of that gang towards the Winter Wyvern. Do you feel like Black Piggy, they like want to go for another killer? They are going to try to go onto the Zeus, but Heavenly Jump, he is going to be under his tower and he will be fine. As now they're going to turn this around onto the Earth Spirit again. Oh, this is... They're getting so close to these kills. They're getting so close. And it just always gets turned around. It is tough there.
Everything is going badly for them right now. The bottom lane, they're losing the tower. The Bristleback can't stay in the lane. The mid lane, you cannot pressure at all, and the Tiny is getting everything he needs. So we talked about the early game where the Earth Spirit should have the advantage over the Tiny. It has been countered so far. He's gonna continue playing it that way, but already he hasn't accumulated enough of what he wanted, and you know, it is gonna matter as the game progresses. Plus, Mad Maid dies. I'm not really sure how, the Bristleback dies, Mad Maid kills him, and I'm not really sure how you can allow that to happen when, you know, you're a Bristleback around the mid lane. You just have to stay safe.
Yes, and I mean, now, like, a 3,000 net worth lead here for Team Tsunami. Like, I don't really like to talk about net worth early on because it can be very skewed, but a 3,000 net worth lead at 9 minutes, that's pretty big. That's very, very big. And we're very much looking as if Team Tsunami nearly won all 3 lanes. Like top lane maybe a wash, but mid and bottom lane definitely they've won there.
Yeah, considering, you know, 2.5 lanes. When you win all 3 lanes hard, usually the game cannot be played by the opponents. And we're going to be looking at Walter, which is going to be another one, though, you know, another one under the belt there. It doesn't really change much. The thing is, when you lose all 3 lanes, the game is usually unplayable for you. When at least one lane is somewhat even, you should be okay to at least attempt to play the early mid game. The problem, of course, comes you have a Bristleback he needs to farm. So Team Tsunami, it's gonna be easy for them to pinpoint their targets, get rid of the Razor. He's the one that you should be targeting.
Oh, it's in here in the bottom lane. Bristleback, you gotta get away. Dodges the Timber Chain. Another Chakram to come out. Is it going to be enough? No. Another kill onto the Bristleback. This is just getting out of control.
Yep. Timbersaw can solo kill the Bristleback. The Tiny and the Winter Wyvern can pretty much kill any hero on the map after the Winter's Curse, and the Zeus is there just to allow for a little bit of damage. This puts Morphling in a position where he doesn't need to join his team. And you know, when the game is going that badly that the enemies don't even need to have any impact on their position 1 for the first, I'd say, 20 minutes of the game, it is a problem. And especially for the side of Black Piggy, whose carry is gonna have to be farming because he is a Bristleback.
Now, you do have here this Razor and Bristleback as your position 1 and 3. Do you feel like I feel like those are like more early game or mid game centric heroes. They don't really scale into the late game as hard. And like what timing are we looking for Black Piggy? What power spike do they need to hit and how?
Black Piggy's lineup, I wouldn't actually put it on a timing. But before that, we're gonna be seeing Razor in a bit of trouble.
Uh-oh. Oh, we even have a little pause here. Everybody can think about their life choices. As,
Yeah, Yang can question them, I guess.
It's like, oh no, there's a Tiny on me and Winter Wyvern is in the vicinity. Oh no, Mate, he's very farmed. Damn, they have 2 heroes that are level 10 already at 11 minutes. That feels... It's just like, when you're in a game of... Sorry?
88% win chance at 11 minutes into the game. Sorry for interrupting you, but it was on the screen and I got baffled by it for a second.
Yeah, no worries. As like 2 heroes at level 10, like if you're in a Dota game where your cores are like that, especially if you're a support, you just feel like the game just plays itself sometimes. Like you're just grooving around the map, and it can also feel like if you're on the enemy side, it can feel like nothing is ever going to work, which I feel like it's very much the point where Walter is at, where yeah.
It doesn't really seem like it's working out for him. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when the situation is as you described, or as the one we can see on the screen, people think Dota is a very nice and easy game. Look at how much better I am than my opponents. But then you put yourself in the skin of the other guy, which in modern society we don't tend to do too much. But sometimes you have those spurs of I want to be a good guy, and you find out it's not really something that needs to happen. And now WMN, he's trying to give a rapier to Black Piggy so that they have a chance in this game.
Who would have the rapier? Wind Ranger?
I don't know. Wind Ranger. Yeah. Yes, that's a go, but you'd still get Winter Cursed and die, so it's probably not gonna change much. Not looking good for them. What also isn't looking good is that the Earth Spirit isn't coming back. Hopefully he does find the strength to go back, but again, you explaining the situation on one and the other side, I'd say Earth Spirit would like to stay out of this one.
Yeah, he's like, yo, man, like, guys, I know I'm gonna die there. I don't even want to see it, guys. Don't talk about it. I'm just gonna reconnect after I died.
Or he's gonna be like, oh no, I closed the Dota and there's that bug that I cannot reconnect. And yeah,
we have to remake the entire game, a new draft here. Oh no. Anyway, I'm sure that's not going to be the case here. As
no.
yeah, I was gonna make the comment like up top. It was a pretty wash there in terms of like who won the lane. It is Razor who's like electricity going up against Morphling who's water. Like if I know anything from Pokemon, that should go pretty Razor favored there.
To be honest, I'm not sure. You know, I don't know if you watched the How to Train Your Dragon. You know that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know that in the movie they found out that dragons aren't really immune to fire if it's blown into their mouths. You know, I don't know if you remember that one, but I do because I really like the movie. Either way, so Razor, he's electricity. He's up against water and a Zeus, who is electricity as well. So maybe he's vulnerable to it. He gets wet, the Zeus zaps him. Suddenly you're in trouble, or you maybe even zap yourself. You know, don't take a bath with a toaster. It is definitely a bad move, which you won't even get to regret.
Who would have thought you turn into a Dota cast and you get life advice? Don't take a bath with a toaster. We're providing really all here, Harry Freak, as this pause is still gonna be a little bit going. What do you think? So? I think we can agree Razor is going to die here. Is there any way that Radiant can turn anything around at this skirmish? Can they find a kill onto the Tiny? Bristleback is in the vicinity a little bit.
I am gonna say no to that. I think you are happy on the side of Black Piggy if you do not lose 2 heroes. Or maybe you're happy if you just lose 2 heroes. We're now getting confirmation that the Earth Spirit is coming back. He has came face to face with his death, so he will come back and watch as he's being dismantled by the Timber Saw in the bottom lane. Though the question here up on this isn't are they gonna die, but who's gonna be going down first?
Yes, I'd say that's going to be the Earth Spirit if the Whirling Death is not on cooldown. If Whirling Death is on cooldown, yes, Earth Spirit's gonna die first here, and Razor going to be the second. Oof, all ones in the score, but it is 11-1 for Team Tsunami here, and already, I mean, they're just pressuring like bottom lane. Like this Timbersaw is completely untouchable at the moment. Like he can do whatever he wants.
Dire's middle tower is under
And
attack.
I really kind of wonder how can you make plays as Black Piggy here? Like who do you feel like is the catalyst to come back into the game?
It's Earth Spirit playing around the Wind Ranger, and then if they get something done, then you smoke and run towards the Razor. So the Razor needs to be static. Okay, that was a nice kick away. At least he does have the strength in him to do that, but doesn't have the strength to survive. So the Earth Spirit needs to be around the Wind Ranger, and the Earth Spirit needs to be playing around him. The Razor is kind of a slow hero, and he wants to be standing at the lane, and you need to get the help towards him. So it's about Earth Spirit and the Wind Ranger getting the kills on the aggressive, and you responding with those 2 heroes, plus the Warlock if the enemies go for the Razor. It's not easy to do, because you can see what Tsunami are doing. They're just going left and right, and pretty much every single one of their heroes can get a solo kill on someone.
And they're just farming the entire map right now. Like the Tiny is farming, even Zeus is getting the mid lane for some nice experience for himself. And I mean, like this Timbersaw, he is so far ahead of everybody else in this game.
Yep, it is not even fair. I mean, he is so far ahead of everyone. I don't see them threatening his life at all. Oh, there's the Zeus. So the Earth Spirit making plays, you know, getting to the low ground, not gonna be happening. Very nicely done. They finally get themselves a nice connection there with the Earth Spirit.
That must also be like a morale boost. Like you got that first blood, and since then you've died 11 times on your team and not getting a single kill in return. Like you get that first kill and you're like, okay, we still got this. We still got this. We are still in this game here. It might not look too good right now, but our Bristleback is farming some ancient camps. That's great for him. He's getting closer to his Agnip Scepter. I mean, with that axe, like we've seen Bristlebacks do some nasty things.
For sure, for sure. Especially you have the fatal bonds as well. It is not something to be underestimated. So they got 1 kill. Now they're going for a smoke. The Bristleback should not be part of that. He doesn't really have the HP to be a part of that. And I don't know if fighting around the mid lane is the smartest thing, especially if the Winter Wyvern is in the back. And yes, he is.
Yeah. They do have, like you mentioned, those fatal bonds. Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of damage, like with the Razor and the Bristleback, to make good use of that. Like it's just like the plasma disconnecting 3 to 4 heroes with a fatal bond on it. That's everybody in there. It's going to be the toss onto the Warlock. Can he get his ult off? He cannot, as the road coming through from the Earth Spirit.
He's in no man's land.
Even joining in is gonna get shackled up, but there's just no damage coming out here from the Radiant as the Dire just storms on forward.
He was looking for the curse there, and for a second they were all close to each other, but he just didn't have the range. It was a few yards off, but still, this is you cannot team fight with arguably a stronger team fight lineup. It is very hard for you to pick off any important heroes on the map. I mean, Blackbeak are in a bad spot. You need to be targeting this Winter Wyvern. If there is a hero that you want to be going for, it's him. But for that, the map needs to open.
As now they are going to find the Razor here once again. He has the pick pole, but it's not going to be enough. And they're even going to force away the Bristleback from his triangle.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Really, like, we're gonna. If nothing changes very soon, we're gonna be looking at a very quick game number 1 here for Team Tsunami.
I'm trying to find a way for Black Piggy to play. In these kind of scenarios, you have to force your enemies to make mistakes. They're not gonna do it on their own. So you need to be on the aggressive. But considering that Team Tsunami are the ones on the aggressive constantly, that is not giving a chance to Black Piggy to react whatsoever.
Yeah, they are just like so oppressive. Like anywhere like Radiant goes, like it seems like Dire is already there, ready to kill them.
It's insane. You're playing the bottom lane with all of your cores. Bottom lane is a no region now for Black Piggy. The Zeus on the top lane needs to die every single time. The second he shows there, he needs to be dove. If that doesn't happen, you're just literally losing the game. This game might already be over, but that Zeus being allowed to solo defend that tower, it's a big no. So you need to be there with the Earth Spirit. If there's a hero that you need to be playing with as the Earth Spirit, is the Wind Ranger though. Look at it. The Zeus has a ward. He sees the Earth Spirit coming in, and he just moves himself away.
But they're gonna get a tier 1 tower here. They're gonna get a tier 1 tower there on the map now. Oh no, are we not gonna get a tier 1 tower? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Sword. I completely cursed you there. I'm so sorry. Okay, I admit that one's on me. That one is on me. That one is on me. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's not their fault. It's not their fault that they are just dying over and over again. Is the fault of Zeus here, and yeah, Zeus in the game, Zeus on the cast, and both of them kind of crushing the side of Black Piggy here.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking there's no way that they're not gonna get this tier 1 tower, and then it happened. I was like, oh no. And now Bristleback is gonna run in here, is gonna find the tiny 3 heroes on this support, and the heal coming in from the Winter Wyvern. They're not even gonna get the tiny. Oh no. There's gonna be a shackle shot. Tiny will die. They found the kill. Now the focus fire onto the Morphling, but Prakash, of course, he is more than fine. And Bristleback, he's out.
Yep, Morphling there was like being focused, and he's like, hit me, and the Wind Ranger is nope, no, not gonna happen. Putting arrows in water, it really isn't that great. So you know, I'm gonna apologize for that. My phone started ringing. Yeah, it is great music.
As Bristleback getting ran at here by the Timber Saw. Looking to turn this around now, but it is a Timber Saw. It's very mobile.
He's very mobile, he's very tanky.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
I'm not
attack.
sure how you kill him. You need the Earth Spirit. The Earth Spirit is your playmaker. Everyone is looking at him, but to be honest, his decisions where to go haven't been that bad. But his spell usage and I'd say more so movement after the spells has been the questionable thing that has cost him a few kills. I don't think it necessarily would have changed much, but you know what, Zeus? We are approaching a very important score at which Black Piggy should GG out just for reviewers. Let's be honest, you can't really win this game, so just give up one more kill and GG out.
Or go for the 5-man smoke and just like find the kill on the Zeus and then immediately GG. That's a power move there. You get like one kill and you immediately GG out.
Yeah, you wouldn't have a lot of fans if you were a professional Dota player. You do that and you it's social suicide. Let's put it that way. Everyone is kind of gonna hate you even if you win a TI. Everyone will always be against you.
That is very, very true. It's now tier 2 tower up top being assaulted by Morphling and the Timber Saw. We are gonna have an Agnum Scepter finished for the Bristleback. I feel like it is now or never for Black Piggy here to turn this game even slightly into their favor.
Dire's bottom tower is
But
under
I mean,
attack.
I'm also like we talked about like what can maybe team like Black Piggy do, but Team Tsunami, they're playing this very, very disciplined. Like we don't really see them overextending here. Like we also gotta mention that.
Yep, they are doing it quite nicely. They've gotten the kill. It's time for this game to end right about now. Now. Okay, they are gonna ignore me, so the game will not be ending here, Zeus. It's our wishes are not gonna be taken into account at all by the players. But as you mentioned, it is just a beautiful gameplay coming out from Tsunami. Sure, there were some mistakes coming out from the side of Black Piggy, but the Team Tsunami, they didn't make any huge ones, and their movements have been pretty solid overall.
As we are here an ultimate coming out from the Warlock, as he is gonna go down. So is the Razor, so is the Golem.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I don't really know if you can
Almost.
call that a team fight because that would require two teams to be really there, but this is...
Dire's bottom
And the sword, oh.
At least we understand that Mad Maid isn't cool. He actually turned around to fight the Wind Ranger at the end there. The Earth Spirit caught and dead. And yeah, can we call this a team fight? The Bristleback is doing the damage. He might even kill the Tiny.
He finds the Tiny here, is gonna get turned around upon though by this Timber Saw and is gonna be brought down.
Okay, I did get really excited there, I have to say.
Like I mean, this is a best of 3 series, so like Black Piggy, they're taking this game, and it's like in fighting games you always talk about like downloading the opponent. They're like downloading the opponent right now. What? Like just already talking about a little bit what could be here in game number 2. Do you feel like this gameplay is mostly reflective due to a drafting or more of an execution?
I'd say it's more of an execution. I think even if you would put them in a situation and say that their draft isn't better, maybe if it's worse, it is not this much worse, you know? So it really shouldn't be this much of a difference anyways. You just shouldn't have lost the lanes that much. The rotations from the Earth Spirit should have given you at least more than 4 kills in 22 minutes. You do have heroes to bring people down, and you do have heroes for your lanes to go a bit better than what they did. Losing the mid lane from a Wind Ranger to a Winter Wyvern dying solo should never happen. So you know, the Bristleback dying solo should never happen. Multiple tosses into kills again, like the one right now. This one right now can happen, but the ones at the start of the game should never happen. So you know, a lot of things went really wrong. So I'd say it was the gameplay. I'm hoping that Black Piggy just didn't wake up yet, that they are that this is maybe their first game of the day.
As we have here another Winter's Curse coming out onto the Earth Spirit, and Earth Spirit is going to be the first to fall. Buyback from the Razor here, that's just throwing everything at Dire here. and they're not gonna take anybody down. Buyback from the Wind Ranger now as well. That's gonna be a shackle shot, doesn't connect onto the Zeus. And are they even gonna get this position 5 Zeus here? The answer is just no. They're not. They are not, and now Dire is ready to re-engage again as they find the Warlock. They toss him out of the base.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
As Focus Fire comes out here onto the Timbersaw. Timbersaw going to be healed up by the Mythic Wyvern, and it's going to be fine. They find the Aegis kill, the roll coming in from the Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit is going to go down. Timbersaw will survive, and GG's are called here. As 25 minutes, Team Tsunami just coming in with like a tsunami. And,
Yeah, literally, this was a drown. They drowned them completely. I'm not even sure how to say 36-4. Every single lane, apart from that top lane, as you mentioned, going heavily in their favor. Every single rotation from the side of Black Piggy unsuccessful. I would say 95% of ideas that Team Tsunami had in this game worked out really well for them, and the other ones, they didn't really work out too well. But, you know, they didn't do anything badly to them. You just miss a kill and you go back. So when everything goes your way, when mechanically you are better than your opponent, I just can't believe that it is this much of a difference. Usually these Chinese teams that you could say are no name, but we saw that they have some known players in their ranks, usually do really well. But this was a very, very underwhelming performance.
now, speaking a little bit like from your experience from playing Dota with teams, how do you feel like as a team, like you got a reset after this game? How, like, if you are the coach here of Black Piggy, what do you tell your team?
It depends. There are some people who like to be yelled at. Really, yeah, there are people like that. I think Chinese teams are pretty much like that. They're pretty open. So a Dota coach there, given that, yeah, the China region is very successful, I think the approach would be tell them in their face that you can't do that, you can't use spells like what is this, guys? Just give a bit of a speech. I don't think this game, if this game is a real representation of their strength, they have no chance. So then you don't say anything. But you know, you don't really have to approach it tactically because you did everything wrong. So it's not the tactic, it's not the idea, it's not the draft, it's the way that we are playing, and we are playing like shit. So you need to stop that from happening. So you know, make them feel a bit bad for themselves, but hyped up. You know, in China, as far as my experience goes, they are pretty open to each other. They even between players, coaches and players, they tend to flame each other in a way, or what in the Western society would be considered the flame. It's just them naturally speaking to each other. So I think that kind of an open conversation, don't do that, you can't make those kind of mistakes, come on, get a grip, would be the best approach right now.
For sure. Like, also you mentioned like hyped up, also like I feel like there can also be like a positive energy from like anger at yourself of like how you performed, and just be like, gotta do better. Like, you just gotta hit those, you gotta, like, as a team, okay, gotta go back to the basics. Let's just like find what we do and just do it, and just do it better. And for that, in game number 2, I would like to see a little bit more like, as you mentioned, like nearly everything kind of went wrong there, so you can't really fault the draft there, or like can't really talk about like what do you want to change from the draft. But I would like for them to see, like, you have this Earth Spirit position 4, which, like, it's not a point and click stun. Like, if you have a point and click stun, it's a point and a click. Like, you can misclick, but there's nothing really much else that could be happening there. While with the roll, it can be a little bit more hit or miss at times, quite literally. So I would like to see them to just go to be like, okay, we just want to have like strong lanes, good setup, and just like easy to execute, to go in there and to find those kills, and just like have all that as you mentioned, like this energy ready to perform here. Because Team Tsunami, they're not giving up anything here. They're just like, they're here to do business, and they've done business with Black Piggy and then put them out the back. So we'll see here if in game 2 they're gonna have anything more.
We'll see if that does happen. You mentioned anger there, so you kind of want them to turn to the dark side, you know, as a very famous Jedi Master would say, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. So it seems like Zeus here wants them to suffer, though they've already suffered plenty. So I guess anger would be a good approach to change it up a bit.
As we just take a quick look here at the scoreboard. Of course, this game, it was relatively short and it looked very, very strong here from Team Tsunami. And I mean, I feel like the levels already tell the tale, as well as the deaths. Like actually none of the cores ever died here. Ooh,
even if there was no score, I think the scoreboard spoils it pretty much here.
Yeah, 11-0-13 by good. I mean, 22,000 damage dealt in a 25-minute game. That is a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage.
That is something, I mean, you can't really prevent. You saw the Earth Spirit there died like a billion times. At least I like that, given that he was just rushing in. There was nothing else for him to do.
Absolutely, but we'll see what we're gonna have in game number 2. We're gonna have a short little break with some highlights. See you there in game number 2.
There was a thing in the woods. But once a year, it left the woods to feast on us. Then one year, out of the woods came nothing. Another year passed, and another. Over time, we forgot our fear. And turned our backs on the dark. Slivers of the mad moon hang forgotten in our sky, slowly aligning. It is time again. The tide rises and brings with it something dire.
Don't let this party scene fool you. This world is a dangerous place. When you get to be my age, you'll see friends come and go. It's important to take care of the ones still kicking. In the heat of battle, you'd be surprised how far a little kindness might go. But not everyone deserves kindness.
Hello, Auntie.
This all you brought?
Yes.
Oh. Attaboy! I didn't offer to share.
Hello and welcome back here to Game 2 between Black Piggy versus Team Tsunami and Harry Frick. All I want to see is Black Piggy, you know, you gotta pull out the guns. Can't bring a knife.
You want to see a Dota game?
Yeah.
You want to see a
exactly.
Dota game?
Exactly. We want to see a Dota game. We don't want to see a Dota stomp. You know, we've all been there. We've experienced it from both ends. If you say you haven't and you have played Dota, I'd say you're lying. Harry Freak, looking at you here. We all know you're very good at Dota, but we head here straight into the draft.
I wouldn't even that second sentence, I wouldn't say it's true. Like, if you would ask me 3 years ago, I'd say I'm the best player in the world, which it wasn't correct then, but I did feel that way, you know, at times. Now I don't even feel I'm that good, you know, so it's might not be the case, but yeah, I have never experienced getting stomped in Dota. I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm pretty sure that Black Piggy, they've experienced it now for the first time, but they're gonna come back and they're gonna at least show us a game, you know. I'm getting hyped up. Are you hyped up?
I'm very hyped up here, mostly because one of my favorite heroes is not banned in the first phase, and that is Dawnbreaker. Are we gonna see some Dawnbreaker action? It is gonna be the Dawnbreaker first pick here. I'm not gonna lie, I think Black Piggy has already lost, but that's just in my mind.
I'm kind of starting to believe that both you and DkTruman can see into the future. He also predicted the Dawnbreaker first pick. Props to you guys. The Razor comes out, Black Piggy, they've shown that at least with the Razor they didn't lose the lane, so smart approach.
What if I told you that DkTruman and I have the same first name as well?
Tim doesn't really sound like a name that is not too common, so I would be trusting you in that one.
Well, we're gonna see an Elder Titan. That's actually also. I'm just getting all of my favorite heroes here. The next pick that only has to be there is Chen, and then all three of my favorite heroes are here. But Elder Titan, talk to me, Harry Frick, about that hero.
I haven't seen it for a very long time. It is a hero that isn't utilized too well in pubs. It is one of the heroes that you can really see the difference between competitive game and pubs. That is the thing. The reason for it is because of the natural order and how you utilize it in the drafting stage and how you're gonna play around that hero. The stomps need to be you pretty much need to be prepared every single time that the enemies want to go for a guy. We mentioned the Winter Wyvern and the Tiny stopping the advanced. Elder Titan is really good at that as well. So let's say if the Razor is attacking the tower, the enemy starts running at him, the Stomp comes out, the ulti as well, and you turn it around. How they're gonna be laning it, how they're gonna be playing it, which items he's gonna go for, those are all the things that I have no idea, because I haven't seen this hero in forever. But I'm glad I am seeing it. It is a Chinese region special. It has always been. The Chinese teams have always played this hero. So if there's someone that can make it work, it's definitely them.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, for sure it is. And now I'm a little bit concerned that Black Piggy, they did give up two, I would say, very high priority heroes in the Dawnbreaker and the Zeus. We already saw the Zeus previously as position 5. Could be a mid here, could be a 5 again. The Dawnbreaker could be position 4. We've also seen some position 1 Dawnbreakers from time to time, which is always a treat in my opinion. And now here for the second phase,
10 seconds
what like
remaining.
it, I always love asking like people who do like
5
drafting
seconds remaining.
like at a very high level. What is your approach to the second phase, like the bans and the picks as a drafter? Like what do you focus currently in that phase?
If you are the first pick, so you get the second pick in the first phase, it's about banning heroes for the hero that you got. So you get something that is pretty strong in the meta, and then you get rid of the heroes he doesn't like playing against. Puck and the Tiny are perfect examples of the heroes that the Zeus doesn't play against. Plus, I guess even the Dawnbreaker doesn't like playing against the Tiny. If you have the second pick, you get the two heroes. Usually people are gonna be going for the double offlane or something that's gonna be that can be the double offlane but can be flexed as well. Well, Razor and the Elder Titan, they fit into that situation perfectly. And then you start banning out heroes that counter the first pick that you're gonna get in that phase, because there's gonna be two heroes as a response to that one, and that one hero can get absolutely demolished, especially if it is a core. So you kind of defend the core. If you think that you didn't defend it properly, you pick up a support, but ideally you would like to get a core right now that cannot be countered. So they get the Wind Ranger again, though I'm gonna say that hero doesn't really get countered by many things. I think Zeus is a decent enough hero against it, so you know, Black Piggy not really sticking to the script here.
10 seconds remaining.
So now Team Tsunami, we could see the Winter Wyvern again. I mean,
5 seconds
it looked really
remaining.
good in the Wind Range. Even got the solo kill. But I'm not sure if they want to go for that hero again, especially with an Elder Titan in the game. I feel like it's tougher to make happen what just happened as the Winter Wyvern.
I mean, I think you're okay. The hero is mobile. You get the boots of travel, so yes, you can get out. Looking at the lineup of Black Piggy, they don't really run in your face. I guess the Elder Titan can do it, but he cannot do it as effectively as the Earth Spirit can, and even with the Earth Spirit, you didn't do it that well.
As Team Tsunami gonna pick the Morphling up again, this time earlier, which does also open it up to a little bit more of a counter pick here for Black Piggy. And I feel like this fourth pick here for Team Tsunami is very much going to, I feel like going to tell if this Dawnbreaker, actually it could be Zeus mid as you mentioned, and then Dawnbreaker could still be support or a core. A lot of flexibility here from the side of Team Tsunami.
They picked a Morphling into an Elder Titan though. You know, if it does come to the later portions of the game, you're gonna get crushed. You have like 30 armor and suddenly you have 0. And you have less than 1000 HP if you're morphed into agility. So I can't really say that I'm a biggest fan of the Morphling pick. I know that Tsunami know what the Elder Titan does, especially them having a Morphling player in their pool, but maybe you just have forgotten how hard it is to sometimes play this hero when you're up against the Elder Titan. So I can't really say that I'm super on board with the Morphling pick in this scenario, even though it is a good one against the Razor.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, that is a very good point there. And we're gonna see on the side for Black Piggy, we're gonna have the position 5 Bane. I mean, sometimes CIS likes to play position 4 Bane, but I would assume this is position 5 Bane and position 4 Elder Titan. Might still be a Razor position 1, might be Razor position 3. As now Team Tsunami, they're gonna round out with their last pick, most likely looking for an offlaner.
Might be a mid laner as well, you know, offlane Dawnbreaker, Zeus 4, Clockwork 5, and Morphling 1 I think would be the best ones for them. Clockwork is a really good laner with the Morphling as well. He just runs in, he takes some heat, and the Morphling gets his level 3 fast because of that. So I wouldn't hate Team Tsunami going for a mid laner here. It's not at all bad, and we can see that Black Piggy are getting rid of the mid laner, so they feel like that could be the case. And I'd say that Queen of Pain would be an amazing pick here for Team Tsunami. You can't get on top of her that easily. She's very good against both the Razor and the Wind Ranger. Even the Elder Titan can't get close because of the Sonic Wave.
Now, meanwhile, also already looking a little bit ahead for Black Piggy with their last pick. Of course, it is going to depend on what Team Tsunami is going to be picking up here. An OD ban. Ooh, haven't seen that hero in a little bit. Ever since, like, he was too strong and now he's completely disappeared again. That's very, very common with that hero, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true.
10 seconds remaining.
The Meteor Hammer got changed a bit. I don't want to say it's necessarily a nerf, but it gets changed. And people immediately throw the hero away. I think there's still some merit to the hero overall, but people are gonna need some time to kind of understand the lengths to which the hero can go to do the damage. And sometimes, you know, you play it, you don't get the kills in the same amount of hits that you did the last time around, and then you don't feel like playing it. So I think the hero will make a comeback at some point. People just need to kind of get it out of their muscle memory just how strong he was earlier.
Yeah, also, I was actually a little bit surprised ever since like the Null Talisman changed from not being Storm Spirit's #1 item, going back to now giving max mana. I feel like that could have been like, oh, maybe OD now really likes that, but still like haven't really seen that. As now Team Tsunami, they're picking up the Visage. I'm scared here for Black Piggy. Can I be honest? I'm scared for him.
Yeah, the Visage is a very strong laner. I'd argue you put him with the Dawnbreaker in the offlane, Dawnbreaker 4, Visage 3, or Dawnbreaker 5, Morphling 1 and Clockwork 4. Doesn't matter, whichever the case, the Visage will be doing a ton of damage. And yep, it is gonna be an offlane Visage. I just want to see who's playing what in terms of supports.
Yeah. So now we have here the full draft. Game 2. Black Piggy, they had the speech with their coach. They're coming in with anger, I say. They're coming in with hype. They're gonna win this game too. Yes, no?
I'd say no. I think they didn't show me enough in the first game to make me believe in them. They picked up an Elder Titan, and they, with him, didn't pick up a mix of damage. Usually with an Elder Titan, you want something like, say, like a carry tiny, something that does massive amounts of damage. A Zeus that does massive amounts of magical damage. Something that is gonna crush the opponent. Something that is gonna overwhelm them with damage so they don't know what hit them. When you look at this lineup of Black Piggy, does it scream damage to you? Especially not AoE. So in my mind, the Elder Titan, other than being a Morphling counter, is a missed pick in terms of how they build their lineup around it. Plus, I think the idea here for Black Piggy is to pick the Elder Titan to make Team Tsunami not pick up a Morphling, but they picked up a Morphling either way. Morphling counters the raids later on. You don't have the heavy physical damage dealer that is gonna kill the Morph. I don't know. I'm just not sure about this Black Piggy draft at all.
And it does look like it's going to be a Dawnbreaker position 5 unless they're swapping roles here, but I would assume so that that's not going to be the case. So it's going to be the Clockwork running in against the Bane. Not really the easiest game for the Clockwork in the laning stage, at least against the Bane. Like there's always just like Nightmare and walk away from the battery assault.
Yeah, definitely. I think Clockwork is just gonna be running in on them like a madman just to get the soul assumption stack so they can do the damage. That is kind of the play. The Visage buys a lot of mana regen and the Clock buys a lot of HP regen, and you play the lane that way, and I think you're actually gonna be doing pretty okay against the Razor. If on the other hand you're a bit defensive, if you're Team Tsunami in that lane and get a lot of damage drained from the Visage, then you're in trouble. So I think Clockwork, yeah, it is a hard time for him, but it should be hard for him to enable the Visage.
As we see here, once again, 5 hero smoke from both sides, and we might even see a level 1 engagement. Who do you favor in a level 1 engagement here?
The Elder Titan. Oh, actually, there's a Visage on the other side. Man, it's tough to say. It's gonna be a bloodbath. People are gonna be taking so much damage, but yeah, both of them are gonna be. You're gonna be hesitant approaching the fight against these heroes.
As both teams placing the same word, I think is very, very amusing, and I don't think like either of them saw, like Dire for sure didn't see Radiant placing that ward, and I believe Dire was still in the smoke when they placed their ward, so none of them should be aware that that ward is going to be there, and no level 1 engagement is to be had here.
Ooh. You know, we were hoping for some bloodbath for this river to turn red, but not gonna be the case.
The battle begins.
Unfortunate tidings. Now we haven't really talked about too much about the last pick here from Black Piggy, the Dragon Knight. I mean, it just like, it feels like a hero that like can fit in nearly any draft. It gives you some tower push. It gives you good lockdown. It gives you some team fight with the shard as well as some farming capabilities. It's just like not really too much going on there.
I'm just not a fan of it in a sense that I don't see him getting the mid lane tower fast in this game. The way that you want to play with DK is get that fast blink and the towers, the mid lane one in particular, falling down pretty fast, because when you have a blink and the mid lane tower falls, you have so many angles at which you can enter the enemy part of the map and get kills. Against the Zeus, I don't see it happening. I don't see that tower falling, and because of it, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to utilize the DK even if you would get a super early blink.
It's now here in the top lane is going to be the Visage versus the Razor. Just really quick, where do you think first blood is going to be happening?
I would say on the top lane. Top lane to me seems the most obvious one, unless the Clockwork really overextends, or actually the Dawnbreaker overextends the bottom. And that's not gonna happen. That hero is too fat.
Yeah. Now I'm going to say Zeus is going to find first blood onto the Wind Ranger.
Oh, you really don't have faith in in the mid laner of Black Piggy.
I just have so much faith in Mad Mage. You know, he convinced me from game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a kill with the Winter Wyvern in the mid lane, pre-level 6, you can assume that this guy can do anything. Though I think this time around, the Wind Ranger is gonna be a bit more passive. I don't really see Sword making that kind of a misplay again.
Now, 2 minutes. We have some water runes for everybody. Everybody get back your bottle refill, and gonna be fine here. Mad Mage really wanting these last hits, and Heavenly Jump away. As up top here. It is, as you mentioned, like really just looking for the soul assumption. That's going to be first blood. Harry Freak, how do you do it?
Double kill.
Is it gonna be the double kill here? Another soul assumption. He's out of mana and getting out of the vision here on the side of the Bane. I mean, that's the only thing that holds Visage a little bit back here, not having enough mana to push out all of those soul assumptions.
Yeah, for sure. You know, when you've played Dota every hour of every day for 5 years, you know, it's sometimes very easy to see some things. You know, he must have no life at all. I'm sorry for the South Park references. I'm just getting used to them with DkTruman because he loves the show. So I'm gonna stop now.
You know, I see nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with that. As so far, I feel like, I mean, of course, it's very early on, but these lanes are going, I would say, pretty even at the moment. Yes, in the mid lane, the Zeus is looking very nice in terms of last hits over the Wind Ranger, but as long as there are no kills happening there, we should be fine. And everybody else is just getting in their last hits. And I'm with this position for Elder Titan here, what do you feel like it brings here to this lane? Which I feel like is kind of where the hero can a little bit struggle.
I mean, you get your first we're gonna be watching this top lane. Okay, nothing too interesting. Well, you're just pretty much running in and doing the damage. There's no other thing that you do with this hero. The era of stacks and then just pulling, getting 1 billion damage with the spirit is gone. People just don't do that anymore. But speaking about doing it, they actually killed the Morphling here in the bottom lane.
Oh, just like caught off guard there. That's a great first kill for the side of Black Piggy there. We're in the game, even score.
Yep. And actually, they're doing quite well against that Morphling. And also, one thing that we didn't mention, the Elder Titan isn't the only Morphling counter in this game. The DK, you know, you could argue that he's one of the better Morphling counters, like the Tidehunter as well, because you reduce the percentage of his base damage, and Morphling is pretty much all base damage, so it is definitely gonna impact his damage output. So you take away his armor, you take away his damage, and what is left?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. As in the bottom lane, the Elder Titan is once again ready to put the briefcase to the Morphling. I don't think it's gonna be. I feel like Elder Titan is like always like, oh, that's not gonna be too much, and then suddenly it takes like half your health with one hit, and you're like, that's not good. As I don't think that's going to be the case, though, as it's still too early for that. With the Elder Titan.
Sometimes you can get surprised. It is not uncommon, especially when a hero isn't being played for a long time. You tend to get surprised just with the amount of damage it can do. So I think because probably what happened there in the bottom lane, he got stunned by the DK, but thought they couldn't finish him up. But then he comes and he punches you. Though now I heard that you are. That you're on the briefcase side of it. For me, that is a stapler, and it will always be a stapler. And I would always leave it at the one. I wouldn't use any other cosmetic because the stapler is just so damn awesome.
I can very much respect that. And up top here, they find the Razor with the cogs. Marvis just gonna make it happen, and the Razor is going to die to the soul assumption there from God. And I mean, this Visage pick is just working out beautifully for Team Tsunami.
Yep. You know, Visage just too good. but you know, the cool joke I came up with there. Either way, you know, this is the deal. The Visage just does so much damage, and they know why they picked it. They saw that it is gonna be a Razor in the carry role. You pick up a Visage, and it's a great hero against the Razor at any point in the game, just because it does that burst damage. The Razor hates playing against heroes like that.
Now here, the Dragon Knight, we are getting a little bit to the point where it's now going to start becoming once that dragon form is available. Well, hold that thought here as Prakash is going to be able to get the wave form away. WMN, is there going to be a stun from Yang? Doesn't have the mana for it at the moment, it looks like. And no kill to be had there, as meanwhile up top, putting a Nightmare onto the Clockwork. What do you think the characters see when they're nightmared?
Oh, I guess it depends. It depends. A Clockwork probably sees that he's lost one of his tools, you know. The Visage, he sees something nice, given that he's a Gravekeeper, you know. So he probably likes all of the dark things. I could go from hero to hero, but I'm not sure that I'm gonna be creative enough, so I'm gonna stop right there with the ideas that I already had. But I would assume that it's different for everyone.
As now we're gonna have the rotation here from Sword is gonna get attacked onto the Clockwork. Shackle Shot does not connect, but the Cogs will be there, and they're finding the kill onto the Clockwork. Nice simple rotation there from the Wind Ranger. Did use the TP for it, so Zeus feels relatively safe to just push that wave under the tower.
Solid rotation. He immediately does come back to the lane. So these kind of rotations with heroes like a Wind Ranger, they're very fast. So you do come back into the lane quite fast yourself. Flink caught again.
We're fine. As a Morphling player, you always know, yo, that's not gonna kill me. And then you die and you're like, okay. And
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
ET, he's going in. Dawnbreaker. Oh, not quite enough. And the Stomp does not connect. Ooh. I respect the attempt. But the Dawnbreaker will survive.
That is a very manly move, you know. You go in like, I'm gonna fight till the death, and unfortunately your death is the only one that does come.
By Zeus.
Also, did you see that skill build from the Dawnbreaker? I mean, it's only early levels, but I believe it was more points in the Starbreaker than the Celestial Hammer, like the Q over the W, which I usually see like the maxed out W.
Yeah, the Celestial Hammer is a spell people go for. The top lane, the Zeus now rotates.
Yes, we're gonna find here the Elder Titan. He just died, and he is going to die again. Wader is gonna go back home in a coffin.
Is that I or an L? I kind of assumed it was Walter, but okay.
It's an I.
Okay. Bane?
They're gonna find the Bane here, and now that's... I mean, these two supports, Clockwork plus Dawnbreaker, that sounds like such a good roaming duo. You just find anybody, and they're just finding kill after kill after kill. 2 in the bottom lane, 1 in the top here as good or god. He's pretty good or a god, like either way he finds the kills.
It is quite easy for him. As I mentioned, the Razor hates playing against the Visage. Maybe can be a problem for him in the early laning stage, but even then, the Soul Assumption is a spell that you usually can't run into. Only if the Visage would have like a really bad support in the lane, then the Razor could do something. And again, they're gonna be going for the Stellar Titan. He just respawned, guys. Have some mercy.
Yeah, I mean, this just seems like incredibly targeted right now. They're like, yo, this position 4. He can't have a game. It's just
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Maybe they're trying to beat his death count in the previous game as well. If I remember correctly, he was 0-14. So it's not gonna be easy, but they did start it off quite well.
It's amazing how effective your rudimentary armor
is. Dire's middle tower.
Here we're gonna see the Dragon Tail onto the Morphling, but he got the Strength Morph off in time. Bane has rotated here into the bottom lane, is gonna find the Nightmare. Then we're gonna have a pretty big Spirit into the Stomp. Oh no, he's gonna get interrupted by the Cogs. But the Clockwork will still die first here as it's gonna be a trade for the Bane, and Dawnbreaker is gonna be able to get away. No, does not get away, but Zeus now joining in is gonna make this a double kill for him. As oh, he also participated in the fight up top. I would assume that's how he got the double kill.
The Razor died again. This is looking so bad for them. The Visage is actually going for the drums. Usually you would see a Wraith Pack being built, but he's like, these guys and the enemies, they don't do any damage, so we're just gonna kill them faster and force them to surrender. And now even the Wind Ranger caught. There is no getting away from that.
Yeah. And now, like, you have the ultimates on both of those supports. You have the Hookshot and you have the Solar Guardian. Suddenly, that potential for a gank is like all over the map. You see anybody, Clockwork is in the area, Hookshot, Solar Guardian, and that hero is dead.
I also like the thing that the Dawnbreaker came in there. You know, the Wind Ranger, when she dies, says, you hit the girl, so you're probably like, why are you hitting a girl? And then they bring a girl of their own, though. Looking at the Dawnbreaker, you know, if it was a 1 versus 1 between her and the Wind Ranger, I know who I put my bet on. Though, the one that I put my bet on is in some trouble right now.
Yeah. And you know who got the kill? The one you didn't bet on.
So, I think I'm gonna be needing a place to stay. You got any room there, Zeus, if not a problem?
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Now, they're already looking for this mid tower here. And I mean, they at least, I mean, this is like a 2,000 net worth lead for the Radiant. We are improving on the side of Black Pig. It is still not looking too hot. And this smoke, I feel like they need to find steam right now. Like, find a kill, find some opening into this tier 1 tower with it. But Radiant, they're just reading him like a children's book right now and avoiding it.
DK's in trouble, actually.
Yeah, and now with the hookshot forward and the Solar Guardian, they're looking to turn this around. They're finding the kills on 2 of them already. 3. Make that 4. Question mark. 4 kills it is. A double kill for the Visage. They got the Clockwork. The hero they initiated upon, they got him, but it cost them dearly. Ooh. I mean, Team Tsunami they woke up today and they chose violence.
Yeah, they did. Black Piggy, they chose to be on the receiving end of that one. You know, just move away from these psychos that are coming to kill you. Look at them. Good is just, he's not giving them any space to even think about it.
Yeah, that's the dead Bane right there. Unstoppable on this as the Cogs connected onto both of them here. This time it will be to the detriment of the Clockwork. They force out the Bane buyback, however. And can they find anything more? Nice stun there with the Visage Bird. The Focusfire will still connect on good here, but with the Dawnbreaker arriving, they're looking to turn this around now. That's gonna be a nice Nightmare dodge and still a lot of damage on the Visage. Are they gonna be able to find the kill? They find the kill on the Visage.
What they got?
Going the way of Dire. And Morphling is gonna be able to get away, though as Zeus completely uncontested. Delivers the damage with an ultra
Where's my rampage
for himself. Oh. And is it gonna be the rampage? 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 It is gonna be the rampage. Okay. You know, it looked good for a moment. For a moment, it looked good.
It actually did. Once they got the Fiend's Grip on the Morphling, I actually thought he was gonna die. He lost most of his mana, but in the end, the second that Pakaz got himself out, it was a problem. You know, you took so much time to kill the Visage. He dropped to like 30% HP, and then the Wind Ranger didn't get a few hits for a few seconds. The Gravekeeper's Cloak refreshed. And suddenly, you are too deep. The second that the Zeus shows that fight, everybody starts dying. And that was, mind you, without the Solar Guardian. So what happens when you actually do have that save to drop onto one of your heroes? If they had it in that fight, the Visage would have survived. And then it would be worse than a disaster for Black Piggy.
Yeah, and it just seems like right now that Team Tsunami are just outplaying once again as in game number 1 Black Piggy here. I don't want to sound like too doomy here, but I feel like Black Piggy, they really need to find their foot into this game to be able to play some Dota here. And I feel like, how close are we with the DK to have like a Blink Dagger and the Shard? That might be able to turn this game around for a little bit. We're working on
he
the
has a
DK
Blink
for the race. Oh, he has the Blink? Okay.
But the thing is, the mid lane tower hasn't fallen, so you don't have those openings. The smoke they made to the mid lane was them, I think, getting a little bit ahead of themselves. That's why they dove so much. They feel like they're under pressure, though. You always, when playing against a hero like Zeus, you have to approach the pushes in a different way. You have to push in the bottom lane, force out the rotation, let's say force out the Solar Guardian, maybe even give a support kill and then rotate to the mid lane. You cannot just run in there, because... Okay, best case scenario, you catch the Zeus to get the tower. But that's not gonna happen. There's a Clockwork, there is a Dawnbreaker. Those two, you're at least gonna have to deal with them before the Zeus. Especially while the mid lane tower is up. So I think Black Piggy, they got a little bit ahead of themselves. Tsunami read them like a book, as you mentioned, the children's book at that point. And, you know, when that does happen, the fight is over before it has even begun. So Black Piggy, they need a, I'd say, more complex move. If I would go for pickoffs, if I was them, it would be on the top lane, but the bottom lane needs to be pushed out constantly. So either the Dawnbreaker is scared, or you catch her first. It is very hard to say right now because you are losing, but you cannot fight in the mid lane. That is for certain. If you are Black Piggy, the mid lane is not a place for you to fight. There is like a 99% chance that there you're gonna be losing.
Yeah, as it does look like for now Black Piggy. Oh, the Hurricane! Oh no, Yang, he got caught by the Hurricane off the Baldwin Ripper there. That was a little bit of unfortunate timing, but also of course like the Clockwork was immediately prepared to go in, as the Bane is gonna go down as well. Mad Nate just continuing to absolutely kill heroes. Drink milk and is all out of milk. So he just continues to kill heroes.
Literally the only thing he's doing right now is destroying them, and he has done so in the previous game. He's doing so now. I mean, this Zeus is looking really powerful. He has the items to pretty much jump into the enemies and not afraid to die. And you're playing against the Elder Titan. That just speaks volumes what the difference is right now. And we're seeing that the Dawnbreaker doesn't even need to use the Solar Guardian. That means that the Black Piggy really aren't making any moves. They're waiting for the BKB on the Razor, which is smart, but he needs so much more time to get
Dire's
it.
middle tower is under attack.
And now they already lost the top tier 2, so they lost their outpost. So they're just like they're getting further and further behind.
Dire's
Another
middle
tier
tower
2.
has fallen.
As the Razor in the bottom lane might take his Vulcan here. Oh no. There's gonna be the Starbreaker and the kill for the Dawnbreaker. Valora is feeling good today, as the hookshot is going to miss. That's gonna be the Solar Guardian to save the Morphling here. And with that, you mentioned it before, with that Solar Guardian, there's no way they're killing this Morphling, and that's exactly what's happening here.
Yeah, it's just
Dire's bottom
you know,
tower is under
I'm not
attack.
even sure if the Razor was even on the bottom lane or not, because he got deleted and we get a GG. So you know, the first two series they were somewhat close. The first one went to 1, the second one at least he had the very close game number 1. But this series, it was Team Tsunami, I mean, outclassing in every way, laning, movements, understanding where to fight. And then after minute 10 the game was already over, and it was just them running around the map, literally. Oh, there's a hero, let's kill him. Oh, there's another one, let's kill him. Oh, look at the bonus, we love bonuses. So that is pretty much their approach in this game. After the lanes, it was all over, and I don't think that these two teams are at the same level.
Yeah, like from this series, it simply looked like the Team Tsunami completely outclassed Black Piggy, at least today. In this series, Black Piggy, they're not out of the tournament yet. It is a best of 3, but you're now in the best of 1s, and best of 1s are always a little bit scary, you know. But meanwhile, I would love to see. I'm very hyped to see how Team Tsunami is going to continue to do here, because I want to see. Like, it's always easy to say like, oh, that team is so good when they're like always winning. I want to see how they play when it's when they're not having a 3000 net worth lead at 10 minutes. Like, what is when the laning stage is even until 12-15 minutes? How do you perform then? Are you able to like make those plays in a like disciplined manner that it works out? So I'm very much looking forward to what we're going to continue to see here from Team Tsunami. Looking very strong so far though, as in this first series.
I like that point. The stomp is never a real representation of strength. There could be games where a team that is much worse than the other one for some reason wins the lane, cheeses with like a tri-lane or something, and just wins the game off of that, and it isn't a real representation of strength. The real representation of strength is the early mid game and the mid game, your movements around the map, the way that you coordinate as a team, and actually attack on different parts of the map at the same time, making your opponents make mistakes. So I'm as you mentioned, I'm really looking forward to that, because I think their laning phases are quite good, but then again, we can't really look at all of the small mechanics on all of 3 lanes. It might just be that Black Piggy are not as good, but on the other hand, I'm hoping is the first thing, and it's actually Team Tsunami who are really good players that are going to be showing us a lot in this tournament.
Yes, they're going to be going up against the winner of the match that will be played tomorrow. So we don't know quite yet who they are going to be facing, but yeah, they're going to be continuing to be up here in the upper bracket, as Black Piggy is going to be in the lower bracket. And so before we see our MVP, who do you feel is the MVP?
I mean, this is the Zeus. I think this time around it's gonna be the Zeus. I think he did everything right. His positioning, his laning, his spell usage, his understanding when to go in. I would think that he's unparalleled in this game. Last game, good, got the MVP, but I think this time around he's, even though he had an amazing game, I mean everyone did, I think you have to give it to the Zeus.
Yeah, and I mean, Mate, he didn't die a single time in this entire series. Like, I mean, you can't really say much more than that, and it is actually gonna go too good once again on this Vitch. It's just like the overall like map movement, as well as the like map control that this Visage offered. I mean, he was very crucial in their, I feel like in their like early tower taking, and finding the top tower very early, and then finding that mid tower. As yeah, but that's going to be it for today's series so far. But we should have a quick look at what is going to be coming up tomorrow, because tomorrow will already be going to be starting with some elimination matches as well. Best of 1s coming up, as well as best of 3s tomorrow.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting tomorrow for sure. They're gonna have 2 best of 3s. They're gonna be having two best of 1s. So we're definitely gonna have a full action-packed day of Dota. I have to say today was really fun and interesting. And then some. I'm gonna have to say I had a lot of fun with you, but it would have been much more fun if these games were just a tad bit closer. I'm not even asking for like a 60 minute game, just for it to go that we don't know the winner at 5 minutes into it. Is that too much to ask here, Zeus?
I hope not, but I mean, maybe Team Tsunami is just that good. I mean, like sometimes you're just like, you're going up against somebody and they're just like, they just outplay you at like so many levels that you're just like, okay. I mean, I'm also gonna say I'm really hoping that for Black Piggy, they're gonna take like they can take this series and they can like, okay, like how can we improve from that, and maybe then like what do they show from the lower bracket? Maybe they're gonna start the good old lower bracket run, you know. That's always
You never know.
gonna be possible.
you never know. You know, there could be some small issue that they're actually having in the laning phase. Maybe some issue that they're having with their PCs. Maybe just not feeling good today. So they maybe can do better. We don't know. But in my mind, Team Tsunami are just looking like I'd say 2 tiers ahead of Black Piggy right now.
For sure. As we see here now, the tournament structure in terms of the scheduling, we saw here Black Piggy versus Team Tsunami, where Team Tsunami wants. They're gonna be going up against the winner, which will be played tomorrow, of Grinsky Esports versus Meow Meow. And then we're also going to be having the 2 winners of the series that you cast earlier, LBZS and Team M11 or M11. As those are going to be the best of 3s here. That's going to be followed then by the elimination matches. Elimination matches already coming up tomorrow. Best of 1s. Yangon Galacticos versus Rems Isekai. You've seen those 2 teams. Who do you give the edge on that series?
I'd give it to Yangon, but I've seen Rems Isekai do well in a game. I think Yangon are a better team, but being that it is a best of 1, I think it's anybody's game. I'm gonna put it 55 to 45 in favor of Yangon.
Absolutely. And then match 4 is going to be, I believe there was a little mistake there in the graphic. It said there was Team Tsunami, but that is going to be Black Piggy, who's in the lower bracket facing the loser of Grinsky versus Meow Meow. And that's gonna be it from me and you, Harry Freak. Thank you everybody for joining in, and we're gonna be sending it back to our host.
Are we? Back to the host.
Wow, those matches were amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed our tournament tonight. We would like to thank our partners, AGG Network and Twitch. Tomorrow our live stream will start at 12:30. Don't miss it. Thank you. See you and good night. Bye bye.